a plus sign. I'm going to stay on the lines of the graph paper using the same backhand technique. To make that center line. As you know, I'm sure you've done this before, either with this compass, which is a little bit too big for what I'm doing here. I can also take one of Grandpop's smaller compasses, like this one, and do basically the same thing going in this direction like this. And that's another thing. We'll be talking about this in more detail later on about mechanical drawing. But as you know, a compass, like the pencils in mechanical drawing, is always pulled in the direction you need to go. You never drive your pencil into the direction you're going. In other words, we don't draw this way. We always draw with that backhand technique, doing the same thing with a compass. Now you're seeing me, probably looks a little weird for you because I'm left-handed, but you could do the same thing right-handed too. Okay. To make the arc, you need to start out from the center line and mark the radius. And the radius, as you know, is the distance from the center out to one of the lines on our center point. So I'm going to come out to, say, the fifth line. The center is 0. We come out to the fifth line. I'm going to do the same on all four sides. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I'm going to position my hand in the center. And I'm going to line up in the forehand stroke and lightly sketch with the backhand stroke away from me like this. I'm going to turn the paper a quarter of a turn, keeping my hand in the same place, and I'm going to repeat the pattern. And again, using that same backhand technique. To make that circle. Those are the three basic types: straight lines, angled lines, and circles and arcs. Here's a brochure that I got when I bought my first Vermont casting stove some time ago. The signature shape of the Vermont casting stove is the parabolic curve that looks like this. I blew up a portion of the advertisement so you could see this. If you look in the upper right hand corner, you'll notice that from dots point A to point G are wider than the dots that come down the right side from point 1 to point 7. So we're going to try this technique with the same pattern in just a few minutes. We're going to pick a spot in the upper right hand corner. We're going to call this point E. Going to call it something. And we're going to go across the top. Here I'm first going to make that line that we've been practicing as kind of a guide. I'm doing it lightly. Coming down this side, I'm going to use that other technique that I showed you. Now, across the top, I want you to make a series of dots skipping every other line. like this. Now I'm going to have, let's see how many I have here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to make the same number of dots coming straight down from our original point E, but I'm going to make them every line. So we have 10 dots going one way, 10 more dots going one way, and 10 more dots the other way. We don't count point E. Using that technique I showed you for freehand sketching, and we'll switch over to the camera so you can see it better. I'm going to make a series of dots, excuse me, a series of lines from the dots by starting from the dot at the bottom to the first dot coming out. Again, we're going to line up with the forehand stroke and lightly sketch with the backhand stroke. We're going to go up a dot and out a dot. Same technique as we started in the very beginning with the straight lines. Because basically that's what we're doing. We're making a series of straight lines. And we're going to continue to make more of these lines. Connecting a new set of dots each time until we run out of dots. As you can see, we have created that parabolic shape like we have in the example. Now, as you can see, we have a series of straight lines, so it isn't truly the parabolic shape until we smooth out the lines. So what I'm going to do is start off at the bottom with a straight line. Then I'm going to smooth out the curve on the inside of this and lightly sketch the backhand stroke to make one continuous line. All the way out. And there you have the parabolic shape.